Shalom Akim, Kahalayim La Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Kakudash, and double on Instagrams and apostles, and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, Thadi Yahushua for the strength and all to make this video. And Yaratazar, you find it edifying and exhorting. Edifying meaning to build up, exhort meaning to encourage. Because really, this is another video based on food again that I'm making. But you could just see as a cautionary tale of why, the Most High said not to eat certain foods. Of course, we're gonna hear the video. I'll play it, but nevertheless, we're not supposed to be eating it. Not just because they say it's contaminated or not contaminated. You're not supposed to be eating it. So as the video says, it says man suffers permanent brain damage after eating allegedly contaminated oysters at steakhouse. Before I start the video, let me, of course, bring out a preset to prove the point as well. So in the law, as it says in Leviticus, one of the first 5 books of Moses, this is Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 10. It says, and all that have not fins, actually let me start from 9. Leviticus 11 and 9, these shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. So of course in the oceans, in the seas, in the waters. So whatsoever hath fins and scales in the water, in the seas and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. So of course those are the conditions. The type of fish that you're eating, it has to have fins, scales, and fins and scales. That's really what it says. It says hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. So fins and scales, that's the condition. So of course, examples: mackerel, sardines. Those are some lawful ones as well. Unfortunately over there in Nigeria as well, they eat catfish, but after researching it, they ain't got scales, I believe, something like that. But they're not lawful. They're not lawful. So that's something that Jake missed out on over there. Of course, northern tribe, they have slackness as well when it comes to the food too. They eat certain detestabilities. Where verse 10, it says, and all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. And these certain heathens as well, they eat almost anything. They eat shark, they eat snake as well. So there's a whole load, man. I know snake is a land animal, but it just came into mind because certain jakes do be eating that, unfortunately. But again, as the scriptures say, my people are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. So again, they'll reap the consequences of feeding on certain unclean meats, whether it be on land or whether it be in the waters. So it has to have fins and scales. So do your research. Now verse 11, they shall be an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat. Let me read verse 10 again. Leviticus 11 and 10. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. It says in verse 11, there shall be even an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses, it's pretty much their bodies, in abomination. So of course their dead bodies in abomination. Pretty much just don't deal with unclean meats, man. That's the point. Right, so I'll read it in the NLT too. But verse 12, whatsoever hath no fins nor scales in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you. So that's the thing. Even certain of these fishes that don't have fins and scales, typically they're like the predator fishes. And I'm not talking about, of course, the killer whale and whatnot. No. Of course, there's a whole thing called whale hunting, which at the end of the day, you ain't even supposed to be doing that. But nevertheless, the point is that these are predator fish. Even the smaller fish, there's certain small predator fish as well. I was watching a recent documentary as well on Netflix called The Hunt, and yeah, it does talk about multiple types of fishes and what they feed on. So nevertheless, certain of them they have features where it's like you're not supposed to be eating that type of animal, right? Yeah, you're not supposed to be eating squid. I remember there was a certain dish back in the day called calamari. That's fried squid. You're not supposed to be eating that. It ain't got fins and scales. That's literally it. If it ain't got fins and scales, you're not supposed to be eating that type of fish or aquatic creature, I should say. So NLT now, Leviticus 11:9. Of all the marine animals, these are ones you may use as food. You may eat anything from the water if it has both fins and scales. The fins is typically the parts that the fish use to navigate. You see it on the top of its body, on the side of its body, near its gills, its tail as well. Those can be likened as fins on the bottom and the top of the body. Typically, the skeleton is used to, or skeletal muscles are used to manipulate that to help them move around the water. And the scales, you can see that as like if any of you have actually washed fish before, when you wash fish and then let's say you dig in your nails, you realize that there's certain thin shards that cover the skin of the fish. Those things typically are removed when you're washing the fish. So those are the scales. What's the word? I think it's translucent, which means they're slightly see-through. So those are scales. So if it's got fins and scales, whenever you go into the local market and then you're looking for fish, when you're washing it when you get back home, then you're going to see a lot of scales when you're washing it as well. And the fins, as I said, on the top and the bottom is typically how what the fish uses to navigate. Yeah, so it says whether taken from salt water or from streams. So yeah, man, it has to have fins and scales. That's all you got to remember from this video. Whatever fish you eat, make sure they got fins, make sure they got scales. Example, sardines and mackerels. Obviously, you got the larger mackerel fish as well. What else? To me, that's just the main ones that I eat. Salmon is one as well. That's another one. But yeah, as long as it has fins and scales, should be fine. So verse 10. It says, but you must never eat animals from the sea or from the rivers that do not have both fins and scales. They are detestable to you. This applies both to little creatures, you see, that live in shallow water, and to all creatures that live in deep water. And yeah, went into it in I don't know if it was I think it's the 4th episode. Yeah, the 4th episode of the documentary The Hunt as well. There's some very weird uncommon creatures down there in the deep sea as well. Types of jellyfish, squid, ones that glow in the dark as well. Very unique features. Very unique. But yeah, those ones ain't supposed to be eaten. From the little ones to the big ones, nevertheless. So it says this applies to both little creatures that live in shallow water. You could also consider it as they mentioned krill. Krill, let's say similar to the family of prawns and whatnot. Krill, you're not supposed to be eating that either. Because they ain't got skins, they ain't got fins and scales. There's a reason why I keep repeating that. So yeah, verse 11, they will always be detestable to you, but must never eat their meat or even touch their dead bodies. You see, so it says, verse 12, and any marine animal that does not have both fins and scales is detestable to you. Simple. Verse 12 just summarizes it. So anyways, this is just a warm-up. Let me get to the actual video now.
A Marine Corps veteran and retired Illinois firefighter has been hospitalized for more than a year with permanent brain injuries allegedly caused by eating raw oysters. Joe Belgio allegedly went into cardiac arrest A Marine Corps veteran and retired Illinois firefighter has been hospitalized for more than a year with permanent brain injuries allegedly caused by eating raw oysters. Joe Belgio allegedly went into cardiac arrest, fell into a months-long coma, and suffered permanent brain damage after eating contaminated oysters at Gibson Steakhouse and Bar in Oak Brook, Illinois, on June 30th, 2025, according to a lawsuit obtained by ABC7 Chicago. Belgio's fiancée, Melanie Steyer, said the couple was out.
You always gotta be wise when it's considering your health. You always gotta be wise and careful, man. Don't let anyone, try and call you as they say in America, a wise ass. For just being considerate of what's in your food. Looking over the ingredients or whatnot. If anyone wants to play in ignorance, let them play in ignorance. You don't need to be pressured just because it's like everyone else is in simplicity, but you're the one who's actually having an eye and awareness for what you're consuming. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyways, let's continue.
Celebrating with family when he ate the oysters before he fell gravely ill.
I want people to be aware that
Contaminated oysters at Gibson Steakhouse and Bar in Oak Brook, Illinois, on June 30th, 2025, according to a lawsuit obtained by ABC7 Chicago. Belgio's fiancée, Melanie Steyer, said the couple was out celebrating with family when he ate the oysters before he fell gravely ill.
I want people to be aware that this could happen to anyone. This was a casual day with a casual man at a restaurant that he wanted to celebrate life with his family. And life can change so quickly.
The 44-year-old went into cardiac arrest 3 days after eating the oysters and lost consciousness and oxygen for at least 8 minutes before he was revived, his lawyer Scott O'Sullivan told the outlet. According to the lawsuit, doctors screened Belgio for bacteria and identified several pathogens that attorneys say are associated with shellfish contamination. His lawyers said that Belgio's treating physicians determined a reasonable degree of medical certainty that his illness, heart attack, and subsequent injuries were a result of eating the oysters. Responding to the
It's just another cautionary tale of why we ought to listen to the laws of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Anything that don't have fins and scales, don't eat it. Now you're eating food that's contaminated, and it's unclean. It's a detestable, detestable meat.
allegations, Gibson's released a statement to ABC7 Chicago saying there have been no other reported cases of illness. Based on the facts and our internal investigation, there is no evidence to suggest that our establishment caused his health condition. We are confident that a fair and thorough legal process will agree with this conclusion, a spokesperson for the steakhouse said. 2 other seafood suppliers, Supreme Lobster and Seafood Company, have also been named in the lawsuit, according to the outlet. The Post has also learned that a separate location of the franchise from the one Belgio dined at failed or narrowly passed 1/3 of its annual food safety inspections since 2010, and has even been previously cited for its mishandling of oysters. Among the Chicago area steakhouse location's violations, which included several foods being stored well above their maximum required temperatures, investigators found several containers of different kinds of oysters in a prep cooler without the proper identification tags, 4 pounds of which had to be discarded. A GoFundMe set up to help Belgio and his family pay for care describes the ex-Marine and former firefighter as a loving father and a man.
Nevertheless, again, as the scriptures say, I believe it's 1 Samuel 16, the Most High doesn't judge on the outward appearance, but by the inward man. That's how he judges. You don't know what this guy's done in the past. You don't know what he's done, even if it may be be a little thing that he did, like a little, what do you say, like, how do you call it? A snicker or something, laugh at a certain, could have been even the prophets out there as well, man. One of the Chicago brothers, who knows? Maybe something little that he did, he could have been judged for it. Now, I'm just throwing anything out there. It could have been either for judgment, of course, just for a cautionary tale. But nevertheless, Most High's word is what's done. Now he's in a state where he's got that permanent brain damage, as it seems over here. It doesn't really matter what he's done for his country. The question is, how did he treat the people of Yahweh Shem Yahushua? Considering that he's an Edomite. Of course, if he is a Jake, nevertheless it's still judgment. Anyway, let's get to the scriptures. This is Deuteronomy 32 and 39. See now that I, even I, this is talking about the Most High Yahweh. It says, I'm he that there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So really, when the decree is made by the Most High Yahweh, that's the way, that's what has to happen. He's the one who says, okay, this person's going to die, this person's not going to die. And of course, Yahweh Shah has been given power as well, under Yahweh as well, as it says, all power is given unto him. In fact, let me get that as well. But the point is, it's through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and of course, that ultimate decree made by Yahweh. That's how certain spirits be judged over here on earth. It should be here. Yep. This is Matthew 28 and 18. It says, and Yahushua came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. So of course Yahushua has also been given power and command over the spirits, and of course to make decrees as well. So that's the point there. I believe there was not yet. Back to food now. So Deuteronomy 4 verse 5 to 6. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord Yahweh my power commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. So again, statutes and judgment, things that we're supposed to follow. It says in the NLT, it says, look, I now teach you these decrees and regulations. So of course the laws that it's talking about. Back to the KJV, verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. And also this incident there, which of course is not the first of its kind, it's just one of many that's happened, food poisoning of some sort. It's just a testament to show you that Esau, Edom, it's a foolish nation that's ruling right now. Because if it was a wise and understanding people, of course us Israelites ruling, you wouldn't be seeing all of this, all these flaws, people getting food contamination, just because of them eating unclean meats. It's because Esau's ways goes against the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Hence why you have effects and circumstances like this. So that's really it. The point is that we're the ones who got the wisdom of the scriptures, and nevertheless with that wisdom we will use it to rule in Yahushua's kingdom. So there won't be none of this food contamination unless it be for judgment or something. Anyways, but it won't be there won't be any eating of any unclean meats. That you can see as a guarantee for sure, because they're going to be under our laws, and our laws are based upon the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua are the words of the Bible. So that's that. Anyway, so Shalom Akim, Kahala Imla, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Ruach HaKodesh, double honest Grahams and apostles and elder bishops, Shalom, of great millstone, Shalom, Shalom.